Okay, this is a very special episode of Faded, because not likely we will do a episode just on albums alone, because normally we would and then we talk about something else. But this is dedicated to Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino.
And plus we've kept this channel inactive for long enough. Yeah, and
we
now
gotta
that
talk
I've
about
set up
something.
everything in a new place, I can finally podcast with you again, man.
Yeah. No, don't worry, we got more ideas for the other episodes later on.
And on the next episode, we will have a special guest. You'll find
George Lowe.
I wish.
Let's message him, see what he thinks. But we'll have some surprises in the next episode.
Yeah, there's going to be more that we'll talk about in the next episode. But we'll talk about that when we get to the episode. Now let's talk about this episode.
So this is Childish Gambino's recent project. It came out a couple of months ago, called 3.15.20. So this is feels like a compilation of all the types of music Donald Glover has been making and given us throughout the years. So he went from some artistic rap stuff from camp and because the internet, and then later on he transitioned to pop and R&B sounds on Kauai, and then into Awaken My Love with some funk and groove music, very Prince inspired.
Remember, he quit Community for this.
That's the thing, he always comes back and forth, I'll quit acting for music, and then now it's the complete opposite, I'll quit music for acting.
Talk about full circle.
But he is one of the hardest working people I ever seen. He does literally anything. So for his come up, he started helping writing 30 Rock, and then he moved to the Community show, and then he also made his own show, Atlanta. He's been in many movies like Spider-Man Homecoming, the Han Solo movie, Lion King, etc, etc. He did stand-up comedy, music, of course, did a lot of voice acting, I remember a character on Regular Show, he did rapping, and also on Adventure Time, and did the soundtrack for Adventure Time, and...
Wait, he was on Adventure Time?
This man's a living legend.
What episode? I must have missed that.
Not too sure, it must have been a character, but I do know he helped on the soundtrack.
Honestly, he just has an impressive resume in general, I bet.
Yeah, this man is everywhere.
He ain't going away anytime soon.
Whether you're a fan of the Donald Glover or the Childish Gambino, growing up on them, or maybe both, he does find a way to branch out for all different audiences. And he won many awards, Golden Globes, and even Grammys as well. Growing up, I think the last decade, that was his success. I can't remember high school without thinking Gambino music. Because the internet was one of my favorite albums of that decade. And I've been on a... It'll sound stupid, I've been on a Facebook fan group page of Childish Gambino ever since 2012, and it's still active to this day.
I just hope that he's able to keep up that consistency with all parts of his career throughout this decade.
Yeah. I think music-wise, it's been 4 years since the last project, Awaken My Love. And then 2 years ago, 2018-ish, it's been This Is America, that blew up, and it was about political statements, stuff about gun controls, and the state of America. A very important song, but I do feel it works well for the music video, because on its own, if you listen to it on the radio, the lyrics aren't there.
Sometimes
Which
music does work better with the video. Sorry.
But it's alright. Yeah, but the lyrics, they do make sense, because if you listen to them, it's kind of like a distraction, seeing the bigger picture, as we're like just dancing to this very dark song. We don't really see what's going on in our world, and which is kind of like the music video is representing. Let's see. So this album, I didn't really expect it to come out. Like, I've been waiting for the next Gambino album, but I didn't think it'll be around this certain time. But it kind of like popped out of nowhere, which I kind of like that it's like rumors. It's kind of like the old days, instead of like social media nowadays hype up something it's been talked about. But I kind of like this being like a rumor, like, oh, he might drop something. I like that feeling.
He probably is gonna keep dropping something under the Childish Gambino name whenever he has some good ideas for an album.
But I think he said this might be his last album.
Well, honestly, if
maybe
this is his last album, he certainly went out on a high note. No pun intended.
It is a good way to end it, yeah, because he's got a good discography, like a lot of good hits under his belt.
Starting off the new decade by ending stuff on a high note. At least something good can come out of 2020.
He released this album first on his website, and then a few days later on some streaming platforms, Spotify and iTunes. And yeah, overall, this album, to me, it sounds very 80s, electronic, some synth pop to it. And as I said earlier, it brings back like every bit of what he did previously in other projects into this. There's like enough for everyone to enjoy.
Being all in your face about the 80s homages.
Oh no, I wouldn't say it's nothing new he did or what rap has done. Like, too close to that aesthetic. Like Tyler the Creator with his album Eagle last year, that is synth pop. And Mac Miller, when he was around, he kind of shifted into that genre with more like jazz and somber music. But yeah, to this album, it sounds a lot like what Kanye Yeezus is, or what it should have been, and a lot of Prince inspiration to it. What I love about this is it all comes together, like the music, the story, the vocals, the production he chooses, the subject, the topic, it all comes together.
The version he put out onto YouTube has like barely any pauses between songs. I mean, if there is one, it's probably unnoticeable. It's how consistent the tones of each song felt to me.
Yeah. Like one of the few songs, the song Time, tackles stuff like personal feelings, confusions, soon to be doomed to the world. Some good singing from Ariana Grande. Like, a lot of people shit on her, I think, like, for her in person, but she is a good singer. God damn. And you get the choirs towards the end of the song, gives this very gospel feeling. But again, like, the topic is pretty dark. He is good at making songs that are happy, which is the total opposite when you look at the lyrics.
Well, I mean, no one wants to listen to a super depressing song casually, so it is best he has a good beat to it. If he's not singing about something happy, you could at least give it a happy tone.
It's also for a reason. It's like we're not seeing the full thing. Like, it's like distracting. We just want to be happy, and in this world we live in, or whatever we've gone through, is kind of like to break away from it. That's what I always enjoyed about Gambino. Like, it's not the first time he's doing this. He had some moments, like Awaken My Love is like very mature in a way, like you're an adult and you're going through these adult struggles. But when you look at this is kind of like kids trying to go into that adulthood life, but they see like, oh, it's not perfect as they think, because you know, kids are like, oh, I want to grow up to be a fireman or a police officer, or I want to be just like my dad working. And parents are like, no, don't go up too fast.
Also doesn't usually work out that way. The important thing is to become your own person. Even if you do grow up to be like your dad.
Yeah. Well, this is a bad thing, but it's like growing up in adulthood, you have to deal with a lot of stuff, a lot of responsibility, and you just forget about them freedoms or good moments you had a bit of freedom, so make the most of it. The song Vibrate, or on the track list 1238, things like the third or fourth one, the one with 21 Savage, wow, that was amazing. It's like very electronic-y, and then when he came on, like he like wrote that as a rapper on those electronic beats. That was impressive. Like those two are good at collaborating together. When he had a lyric saying, "People hate me, I'm a boss without selling crack," like that is a good moment. And then yeah, the way the song abrupts and then it transitions to the next song, 1910. Like it all like comes together. If you like shuffle the tracks, like the story would still make sense. Same with 1910. Like the whole song is about, oh, his dad's telling him how messed up the world is, but remember to be beautiful. And then there's a line he says, to be beautiful is to be hunted. I'm like, oh my god. That is crazy. To be beautiful is to be hunted. And then, like in relations to that song about his dad telling him about the world, on the song 4748, Donald is talking to his kids about the world. And then the kids are asking him, oh, do you love yourself? Does mom love you? Does mom love herself? It's like, together is like growing up and learning about the world, and then he's passing that on to his children.
Yeah, I certainly found that part very interesting.
And then there's also the song, let's see, 2419? It's hard to tell the song names because of the titles. Like, did I ever throw you off the numbers? Or you don't mind?
What?
Like, do you not mind whole numbers he uses as track listing, or yeah, like they're just like timestamps, like 000 is how it starts, and then it's like when you go through the album, the name of the song, that's how it starts.
Yeah, that's pretty creative, I must add.
But I believe Algorhythm and Time, those are just what came out first to hype up the album, so it'll make sense to call it that. But on 2419, it's about taking care of his family, protecting his kids from the world, appreciating his wife for all the things they did together. Like, if that's an important song, because if you put it anywhere in the album, like any track list, in any order, or just random, it would still work. Like if you put it, or if you put it after the song Time, it will feel like, oh, Donald is lost and is struggling, and then that will transition to finding his answer and purpose to keep moving forward, his family. Or put the song after Algorithm, and it feels like he's breaking his chain, he's free, he can't cope. but he's not in control of himself and he's going insane. And then the next song, his family is helping him, keeping him sane. Like, that is an important song. That's like a highlight for the album. And it's like important for the theme too. Family first, guys.
Yeah, don't become a workaholic.
Yep. Remember who you're doing this all for. I'll fast forward a bit. Feels Like Summer. Like, it came out around This Is America 2018. It still feels like, doesn't feel like a long time ago. It doesn't feel that long ago, but it feels like summer, or they used it as one of the numbers. I can't remember. It could have been 3928 or like 4226, but that's, yeah. But that song means a lot to me for him to put on the album, because if they put This Is America on it, it wouldn't really fit the mood. I felt like his label would have, or he would, just to boost streams, because like, oh, it's that one song. But This Feels Like Summer is very fitting to this story, what he's trying to portray. And there's like different ways to interpret the song depending on the listener. Like, I believe Gambino's reason or meaning behind it is like, it's about climate change, like feels like summer, kids don't rush into adulthood, and about mental health and struggle. And like, the music video helps figure this out. And to me, why I love this song, for me it feels like summer. It's kind of like a feeling of a younger, better time in your life. Like, we see summer as a moment, a good moment, hanging out with friends, no school, relaxing, you have places you go to, your first love, best memories,
playing video games, and not having to just play them every weekend, but you can play them like the whole week.
Being young and wild and free. and then it hits you, like, life goes on, you get older, you mature, all those stuff in the past, and now it's just memories, and you look back at it as nostalgia, and you just miss those moments, and you have to move forward. The song's saying, this feels like summer, she feels like summer, I feel like summer, kind of like you're moving forward, and then you get moments, kind of reminds you of that moment. Moment. So that's how I feel about it. And in the song it goes, I hope that this world will change, but it just seems the same. To me, thinking that, to me it feels like in our low points, in our struggles in life, you say, I want to change, I want all this to stop, I want the world to change, but when you kind of like do something else different, nothing really changed, nothing happens, and you can't get that feeling back from the good old days, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
Basically going through a crisis.
Yeah. You can't accept change, but when you try to change, it's not gonna happen for you.
That's how people in their 50s go through a midlife crisis.
The music video for the song, it's really good. It shows Gambino walking down the street. It's like the hot sun. You see other artists. They're like playing, kind of like acting like kids with like water hose. See other people washing cars, braiding hairs, like being happy. And there's like a few moments in the music video. It shows some mental health problems. Kind of like Kid Cudi around the time he was dealing with depression. Then there's Kanye West. He was voicing his opinions and feelings on Donald Trump, and we all know what happened. The world like point fingers at him, turned against Kanye. It shows Michelle Obama comforting him. It's like, it's okay in the end. And it ends with Donald Glover just walking into his house. that could be represented in different things, but I feel like that was him saying goodbye to music or goodbye to rap itself. And then when he walked by all those artists and rappers, it's kind of like looking back at himself, and then he's just
the next
moving
stage
on.
of his life.
And that could be the same thing in the lyrics. I hope that this world will change, but it seems the same. There's like layers and layers into this music, and then it's like could be just like a lot of theories, like could have been picked out in different ways, but it doesn't feel like it's this one reason. It's like this multiple things, but it's like depends how you, the listener, think of it, how it connects to you. But he is a master
Totally.
of that. Crazy to me. This album, like overall, is a bit of like self-love, self-care, being free, knowing the innocence of you, trying to escape reality. Like overall, this is perfect. Like I haven't enjoyed an album more like a Gambino album in a while.
Hopefully all the kids at school are going to be singing this around the classrooms.
Yeah. As we sang 3005 and Sweatpants, they should sing those too. This is a groove, but it's like the vibe and the feeling, it's like not a groove. Like you should be dancing, but you shouldn't. But it's like the whole album shouldn't have worked, but it worked with this soul electronic synth music. Like, doesn't feel like it should worked, but it did. And this is what Kanye tried to do with Thesis, but failed. But Gambino's like, yeah,
he
I can
doesn't
do it
even
10
need
times
to
better.
go on full Christian to do it.
No, doesn't. Like, he'll be experimental, but it's like, for Kanye it's just weird, but Gambino is like,
I mean, plus
it works.
Gambino doesn't have the massive ego like Kanye does.
we just see Gambino as this one weird dude
Yeah, he's
who can make good
he's
music.
being his true self.
And it's more than just rap, it's very like college rap to experimental artsy, and then funk, Prince inspired, and then onto here it's like soulful electronic music.
It's definitely not full on rap.
I wouldn't call this a rap album at all.
It's definitely something that is not pandering to all the boys. And he's just having it be music that he's putting out because he wants to put out, and not trying to impress anyone.
No, I think like the way he dropped it is kind of like he didn't really announce it. I feel like this is just him releasing it because he wants to. Doesn't care about the numbers
Honestly,
or streams.
if you announce something in advance, you'll get people too hyped up, and they probably will not be super satisfied.
Oh yeah, of course. I agree on that because it's freaking Childish Gambino, like the most respectable artist in the game, and I guess there's full expectations for 4 years from the last album, and people have been waiting. I feel like this move was pretty spot on.
Yeah, he's getting people to be excited right when it comes out, without trying to tease us and be like, haha, you guys have to wait. No, he's he's just like putting it out. I mean, I'm not saying that that advertising something you'll release in the future is bad. I'm just saying that that you shouldn't get people too hyped up for something.
Yeah. That's why I have to give it a couple listens. That's why we're doing this review now. And because when you listen to it, it could be like overhyped, so you're just enjoying it because it's out. But like, let it settle in and then like come back to it, see like the quality of the songs and the album as a whole. And sometimes they may not click the first couple of times. Like I was on my 4th listen. I know you've been listening today.
Well, what can I say? I want to enjoy it while I can. Before it's considered not cool to listen to it anymore. I hope it's still going to be considered cool to listen to Childish Gambino for a good while.
Oh yeah. But a part of me still thinks this isn't the last album. Maybe he's saying it's the last rap album, or
maybe the last album
something.
For 4 or 5 years.
Maybe, yeah. Because I feel like you can't really leave music. I mean, how many times JC said he retired?
I don't know, maybe he's gonna drop 1 or 2 songs every once in a while, maybe for like a movie soundtrack. Or maybe he's gonna write a song for a friend.
Or produce. I feel like even if he said he's quitting, I wouldn't mind. Because I feel like his movies and the stuff he's doing, they're still good. Maybe he wants to focus on that more. And that's why it's been a while for him to drop
Maybe
something.
they could get him back for another Spider-Man MCU film.
I think it's a hint he might be the Prowler. I mean, it was an old meme back in like 2012 or something. He said this before in his stand-up comedy. Somebody sent in a tweet of him dressing up as Spider-Man, so he said Donald Glover for Spider-Man, and that blew up and everybody's saying, oh, Donald Glover should be Spider-Man. Like now he's kind of in the Spider-Man universe.
Got to play one of those street thugs in Homecoming. And then,
yeah, and could be potential to be Prowler.
we'll just have to see how the third Spider-Man MCU film turns out. I should eventually catch up on what's been going on with the MCU. I haven't seen anything past Endgame.
Oh, same here. That was just my to me that's like my final era for it. I don't think anything can live up to that. Not just like the end game. I don't expect every movie to be like a massive event, but like those characters and those moments in the MCU, I don't think it will live up to that. And for them to say that second Spider-Man movie is the final part of that era, I'm like, nah, you can't just have Endgame and then release that.
And not to mention that they, from what I understand, they ended the second Spider-Man on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
well, I mean,
my friends say it's good.
Well, I mean, it'd probably be better if Don Glover appeared in it.
Yeah, like they hinted at that, but so hopefully he'll be in the
they
third
should
one,
give
maybe.
him a bigger MCU role. Yeah.
It would have, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they could have saved him and just used him whenever they decide to introduce Miles Morales into the MCU. But then they released the Spider.
Yeah,
and they didn't cast him as
yeah.
Miles Morales, which I guess I can understand. They probably wanted to get someone closer to that character's age.
Yeah, if it was animated, then maybe he can pull off a good young impression. But if it's live action,
Wasn't there like a Deadpool pilot that he was voicing Deadpool in? that was animated.
Oh, it could be a Disney
It was
XD
like
thing
produced
or
by
something.
Titmouse.
Maybe, yeah. I need to look at that.
All the good things don't get fully made. I mean, this is why we can't have nice things. They just get canceled before they're at their best.
Everything's been put on hold at the
The
moment.
world just shut down. I mean, all the stores are only starting to reopen in Houston. All the malls are still practically dead, though.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, it almost feels like you walk into a mall at closing time.
I bet, yeah. I think it's crazy Gambino, he would start off like, there's a lot of old verses, like he'll reference Lion King. He says, "Go why you see lion, go why you Mufasa," and now he plays Simba
specifically
in the Lion
Simba.
King. Yeah. And then like, this man like, is what everybody wanted to be. He wants to be like looking someone from Star Wars, and then Lion King, and then
Does he just work for
Spider-Man.
Disney now?
Well, I guess how it works, Disney would like a certain person, so now they're part of this Disney contract, and they will offer him Disney roles since Marvel is Disney and Lion King, so he has more variety and
Yeah,
more
they clearly
opportunities.
like him.
Like same with Seth Rogen, he played Pumbaa, but I couldn't imagine them hiring him because it's like a background check, and we know him for his weed movies. So I wouldn't think Disney would actually do that, but it was a fitting role.
They would first have to see if he can do anything else.
Yeah, if you do
Which he's
one
good
thing
at.
for so long, it can be easy to be typecast afterwards.
Yeah. They also did Eric Andre, he's in The Lion King and the Adult Swim Eric Andre show. Like heavily inspired by Space Ghost. It's like, I guess Disney's wants more people, and
They're
it
wanting
makes
to
sense.
get more adults to join in. I mean, they've already bought 20th Century Fox, and they own Simpsons and Family Guy.
Oh, the Disney jokes.
And not to mention a whole bunch of other shows. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they put X-Files on Disney XD. I mean Disney Plus.
They
Disney
should.
Plus. Yeah, I hear that Simpsons.
I
is
wouldn't
on
mind
Disney
that.
Plus.
Yeah, I've been binging that. Like I wasn't too huge on Simpsons, but like when I get to binge it, I understand why people say the classics were
Well,
the
classics
best.
are the best of any show.
Exactly.
I mean, take Community for example. I mean, like the show at its first 3 seasons was like its peak. Yeah, and
Gold,
it
yeah.
never was able to truly recover. I mean, seasons 5 and 6 seem to have ended the show on a bigger note than if they ended at season 4.
Like, did Gambino had to?
Yeah, he
leave
wanted to
the show,
focus on his
or-
music.
So he
Well, not
ruined the
entirely.
seasons.
I mean, everyone else was still there. I mean,
Yeah. Even
I think
Helen
she
from Drake and
probably
Josh.
left eventually too. But But
Yeah.
Dan Harmon was back, and he saved the show from ending on a whimper.
Oh, the creator of Rick and Morty. Or one of them.
Yeah, he's also the creator of Community.
Yeah. That's cool. Trying to remember the other stuff Gambino's been on.
Well, I mean, he's certainly been on a lot. We might be surprised eventually to see what else he's been on.
Stuff.
I see the damsel.
And
I think my parents and my sister are starting to get a bit noisy, so we might have to wrap it up. Yeah, but before we go too off topic,
yeah, like we did for a little bit. But overall,
I think
what do you think?
I been missing out on Childish Gambino, and if I ever find the album on CD, I'm getting it. It'd be good to listen to on long road trips.
Never too late to.
Yeah, as long as you're able to buy it and enjoy it.
And I think for me, I've been growing up on his music ever since camp and because the internet, and it's been like a huge part of my high school years, and then just been helping me going through a lot, and I feel like he hasn't changed, like for the good. Like he's not trying to be something else, but he is evolving into different styles. Even though I wouldn't be that huge on Awaken My Love, I still appreciate him maturing and
you
want to do other
change
things.
Completely. But then again, change is inevitable. You're going to change whether you notice it or not.
Yeah, but 3.15.20, it just reminds me of some good old days. It reminds me of 2013, 2014 days, like that sort of era, and it would make sense in the album about stories like growing up, maturing in this world, and it just gives you like this old feeling back, some good memories from Houston. So it kind of connected to me a lot, and it's a shame because after a couple of days of its release, people really forgot about it. And this is the type of album that would win a Grammy. It's just the production is there, the vocals are there, singing, like it all works together. If it's his final album, then I say he left on a good note. And I'm excited for whatever projects he's doing, whatever movies and all that. And yeah, it's been like over a decade.
And I started following him on social media. That way I can keep up with what projects he's doing.
Yeah. And he's doing really well.
I heard recently that he started a podcast with Ken Jeong, and like they had a community reunion on one of their podcasts. For like Dan Harmon, all the main actors except for Chevy Chase, because fuck Chevy Chase.
There's reasons.
And my sister made my dad and I watch that, and it felt good. I mean, makes me feel bad that that NBC was very hard on the show after season 3.
It's crazy what networks would do. I know we don't do this, but would you rate this album? Would it be the Moist meter, or the Chris Duckman rating, or the YMS rating, or how would you do it?
I'll just
0 to 10, or
I think I'll just do the classic out of 10 rating. I'd say 9.5.
shit. Damn, yeah. I'm honestly that close to like
I mean, I
either
probably
9 or
would
10
give it
really.
a 10, but I need to listen to more Childish Gambino albums before I'm absolutely sure. So I'm going to say 9.5 right now.
Yeah. Like we would change our minds later on, but I think like the only flaw is there's like this one song, some sort of number. It's like has this African drum beat to it. I think it's just him mumbling, but it's very Kanye Jesus thing. But that's just the only flaw on it. The rest of it, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Alright, thank you guys for watching this one.
See ya when we get a certain millennial that is feeling nostalgic on this podcast. Hopefully next month.
And maybe George Lowe.
Someday. Hopefully someday we'll meet him.
Alright.
Goodbye.
Alright, see you guys.